What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Marco, and on today's show, we are going to be taking a look at one of the most unique sports games, I use air quotes, sports games that I have played in a very long time. And I am talking, of course, about the game from our friends over at Plaay Games, although this is under Play Now, the Play Now brand, which is underneath the Plaay Games, but still same company. And that is Heroes and Heels Dodgeball. Quick backstory on this really fast. So about a month and a half ago, I was buying a bunch of stuff from Plaay Games, most of which has already been reviewed on the channel, some of which is still to come. And I got to talking to Keith Avalone, the owner, operator, whatever his title is, president, if you will, of the Plaay Games company. And he said, he knew I was starting this YouTube channel, or at least I told him I was, and he was kind enough to tell me, I'm going to send you this game and just let me know what you think. You don't have to review it or anything like that. Of course, I'm more than happy to review it. And thank you a million times over for sending this game. You didn't have to do that. And I was pleasantly surprised with how much fun I had with this game. So I wanted to do a review video for you today. So what is this game? That is question number one. So I don't remember the exact year. I do know I was in high school when the movie came out. So it had to be about 2004, 2005, something like that. Let me know in the comments, or I guess I could just look it up here. And that is, of course, the Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn movie, Dodgeball. No one had thought about Dodgeball in probably 30 years. It was a game you played in elementary school with your buddies and then never touched ever again. And it was a hilarious movie. To this day, one of my probably 15 favorite comedies I've ever seen. Well, our friends over at Plaay Games decided to make a board game based off of that game. And now, how I would describe this game, as you're going to see in just a second when we get down to the game room, it is, the best way to describe it is a sports game that got married and had a baby with a professional wrestling mantra, if you will. So, essentially, the idea of this game is building your own world, right? And it's going to be so much easier for me to explain once I get downstairs and unbox it and open up for you. The idea is you're going to be creating teams. You have coaches. You have a world tour that these dodgeball teams partake on, and every week, players can switch teams. Players can go rogue on their team. They can become heroes. They can become heels, hence the title. And it's a really fun and engaging experience where you can quite literally create your own dodgeball world. So with that being said, let's get downstairs and let's play a little bit of dodgeball. Okay, everybody, we are down in the game room and ready to play dodgeball. So if we take a look down here, we have our dodgeball court all set up, a whole bunch of die, a couple of markers, and these good looking cards. So I'll show you what each of these cards does. So like I said, this game is all about world building, and the game comes pre-packed with 16 made up team names. And actually the names are not only cool, but the logos are super cool, right? So here's just a couple of them: the Sting, the Thunder, the Tyrants, the Primals. Again, you could do it any way you want. You can make your own team names. You could make your own stuff. You could really get as creative as you want. But for the purposes of tonight, I'm just going to pull two random ones. So we're going to have the Thunder taking on the Tyrants. The dinosaur logo looks pretty cool. So we're going to have the Thunder and the Tyrants take on each other. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find out the rosters for each team. And again, you could do this any way you want. You could make a super stacked team. You could make a crummy team. You could do it totally random. You could make a team of all-stars, because every card has individual ratings. And I'll explain a little bit about what those ratings are here in just a second, as I'm just going to shuffle up and make it totally random just for purposes of showing this game off. I had originally planned to do like a little tournament tonight, but my pre-game, so I did a little game earlier just to kind of judge the timing, because I've been trying to learn the game for the past couple weeks, and you don't really learn the game with the idea of doing a video. You just sort of play. So I wanted to see how long it took, and that match actually took like 15, 20 minutes. So I thought doing 3 full matches of an hour and a half, in totality, even with my reviews and everything, as my dog upstairs is barking. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I thought it would be too long, and I just wanted to show the game off and get going. So now we're going to draft the teams, and I'm just going to make 2 little piles here and just go 1 pile at a time. And Dodgeball there's going to be 6 starters for each team and 1 player on the bench. So I'm going to just deal 7 cards to each player. So let's just do 1 and 1, 2, 2. We'll do a few at a time. 3, 3. That's a good card. 4, 4, 5, 5, and we'll give the last 2 to this pile. 6 and 7. Okay, so I'm gonna put the rest of these away. Again, there's enough players in here to draft 16 teams if you wanted to. So plenty of room, and you could make your own, and they are super, super, super easy because there's only 3 ratings on any given card. So let's pull a card here. Let's look at Munaj, who's one of the better players in this game. So on every single card, you're going to have the player's name at the top, their throw rating, their dodge rating, and their collect rating. That's it. And the whole game really revolves around those 3 ratings. So the throw rating is obviously how good of a thrower they are. And the object of the game is when they have a ball in their hand and the blue die represents a ball, the higher the throw rating, the better, because you have to roll less than what that number is in order to have a successful on-target throw. So in this case, he rolls a 1, so that would be a successful on-target throw. Then the dodge rating is who he's throwing to has to dodge that if it is less than, or excuse me, more than, they will dodge, I'm not explaining this properly, they will dodge the throw if the red die is equal to or less than their dodge rating. So if, let's just say Munaj is throwing at Lewis here. So Munaj is a 5, Lewis is a 1. So Munaj needs a 5 or less on the blue die and a 2 or more on the red die in order to successfully hit Lewis. And in this case, he successfully hit Lewis, but he exceeded his throw rating. So this is a missed throw. So that will go down. You'll see as we get things going what would happen in that scenario. And then from there, you play dodgeball. So if you get hit, you're out. If you make a catch, which there's a way to make a catch, the person who threw the ball is out, and an out player from that team gets to come back in. And also there's TV balls, which we'll get to, and power-up throws and misses, which we'll get to as well. So we have our teams drafted, and then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to give each team a head coach. And again, the head coaches add a little bit of flair, I guess you could say, to their team. So again, just random. So coaching the Thunder is going to be Mercer, and he is a conniver. It says no heroes, red die roll of a 1 as a 6. So if you get a red die, it's always going to be a 6, I guess, when you play that card. And finally, Justice is coaching the Tyrants. He's a stand-up guy, no heels. Red die roll of a 6, you read it as a 1. And again, we'll go over what all that means as we get going. So let's now determine the positions for our team. So you're going to want the guys and gals who collect, they have the highest collect rating in the middle of the court. And the reason for that is you're going to, and I'll explain this in just a second, but the most common die rolls are 2, 3, and 4. So you're going to want your best collectors in the middle of the court because that's where 2, 3, and 4 sits. And you want your 1 collectors, like here's a good example, but good throwers, kind of more towards the outside flanks. And then your good dodgers, you're going to want more in the middle too because it's easier for them to get out of the way. So I'm going to have to make a tough decision here because you do have to put 1 person on the bench in case there's an injury. And I think I'm going to go ahead and bench Berger because even though he's got a higher throw rating than Ramirez, Ramirez has a better dodge rating, which is a little bit more valuable when you got a bunch of guys on your team who can dodge, who can throw. We'll put our coach there, and now we'll do the Thunder. And Munaj is going to be in that 3 spot. They don't have a lot of good collectors, so Oshida will play the 4. And it's all 1-star. Oh, here's a 2-star. We'll put Kelly at 2. We've got a 4 thrower and a dodger. That's Tolman. We'll put him at 5. And I think Choice is going to sit here in place of Beard and Cole. No, I think I'm actually going to start Choice over Cole because he has the 4 rating. All right, so now we have our lineups all set up. So now we're going to determine if there is an advantage, okay? So what that means is which team has higher collect ratings. All you're going to do is add up the collect rating for each team. So for the Tyrants, that's a 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They have a 13. And the Thunder have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the Tyrants have an advantage of 2. And then we're going to add 2 to that to make it 4. Now we're going to roll 2 black die, and if it comes up a 4 or less for the entirety of the game, the Tyrants are going to have 4 balls to work with instead of 3. So let's see if they get it. They don't. So both teams are going to be working with 3 balls to collect this entire game. Now, before we even get into the collection phase, this is where the WWE or the professional wrestling aspect of the game comes in. So you're going to have some pre-match drama, some post-match drama, and we'll put these to the side right now. That's our TV throws and our highlight reel throws, which I'll get to when they inevitably come up. So you're going to take 3 die, roll them, add them up. That's an 11, so that's a 14 total. Player. All right, so now we got to find out which player and which team. So we'll roll a black for the player and a red for the team. So it's going to be the heel player on the low TV team. Well, these two teams are going to have the same TV rating. Again, it's all about world creating, guys. You could make some teams an A rating, a triple A rating. For the purposes of this demonstration, they're both a B rating. So let's just do it random. 1 through 3, we're going to make it the Thunder, and 4, 5, and 6, we'll make it the Tyrant. So it's going to be the Thunder. So somebody on the Thunder, and we'll see which player it's going to be. So it's going to be 1 through 6. So this guy, Oshida. Oshida makes face or heel turn in pre-game interviews. So roll a die, odd or even. So if it's even, he's going to be a face, and he's not. So he's a heel. So Oshida is a heel. That means he's a bad guy. So if something happens in this match, we have to remember that Oshida is playing as a bad guy right now for the Thunder. Okay, so that's our pre-match activities. And again, all of this is totally optional. You could just skip that part, get right into the game. You could keep rolling. You could find multiple heals. It's all about world building. It's all totally up to you on how you want to do it. All right, so we're ready to start our game. So every game of dodgeball begins with collecting balls. And the way you do that is, as I just demonstrated, you're going to have to find the collect rating and see if a team gets an advantage. In this case, no team got an advantage, so each team's just going to get 3 balls. So we'll start with the Thunder. We're going to roll 3 die, and we rolled a 4, 5, 5. So that means the 4 player and the 5, 5 player, so just 5, were the ones that collected the ball. So Tolman collected 2, Oshida collected 1. Tolman's going to go ahead and give his buddy Choice a ball, so we have an even distribution. If one player collects multiple balls, he can hand it to the person directly next to them. If there's nobody there, I have a homebrew rule, they cannot give that person a ball. So we'll do the same for the Tyrant. It comes up a 2, 2, 3. So Zelenik will get 2, Lewis will get 3, and Zelenik will go ahead and give his to Ramirez, and we are ready to rock and roll here in dodgeball. So we'll put our dice pool over here. It's a nice little placeholder for you just to have it off to the side. Now it's time to go. So how do we determine who throws first? Well, the first thing you have to look at is which team has more balls. Well, they each have 3. So which team has more players? Well, they each have 6. So now we have to go to which team has the higher throw rating. So we're going to come down of the players with balls. So the higher throw rating here, that's an 8. That's an 11 for the Thunder. And this is a 7, 10 for the Tyrant. So the Thunder will be throwing first. So you could do this in any order that you like. You could pick randomly. You could pick, what I like to do is I like to try and find the player with the highest throw rating and make them get out the player with the lowest dodge rating and the highest throw rating. So in this case, I'm going to have Choice try and get Wilson out. So how we do this, once again, we look at his throw rating. It needs to be 4 or less, and his dodge rating, it has to be 2 or more, and this will be a successful hit. And in this case, he rolled less than a 4, and he got him. So this is a hit, but he rolled doubles. So what we're going to do, and I'm glad this came up on the first roll, we're going to come over to our highlight throw chart on the hit. Now, if you just flip it over, it's a miss. So in this case, he did hit him. And you're going to look at what type the player is. So remember earlier, I said that Oshida was a heel. Well, everyone else is an average Joe. So we come over to average Joe. You look at his blue die. That's a 2. And it says, heel player on opposing team gets the TV ball. Well, there is no heel player on the opposing team. So otherwise, a TV ball is going to go through the throwing player. So Wilson's hit. He's out. He goes to the bottom of the outline. Choice, because it was a highlight throw, gets a TV ball. So essentially, he gets another ball to throw sometime later on in the game. So he could throw it right away. He could keep it. You could do whatever you want with it. And that ball is considered used, and it goes back to our dice pile. Next up, so who has more balls? Well, they still have 3, because remember the TV throw counts as a ball. But now they have 1 less player, so the Thunder get to throw again. And this time, I think I'm going to have our heel, Oshida. No, you know what? Let's have Tolman. Tolman's a 4 rating, and he's going to throw to Hawkins. So he needs a 4 or less on the blue die and a 4 or more on the red die. And he got it. Look at this. Hawkins is now out. He'll go to the bottom of the outline, and the Tyrants are in trouble right away. So 2 successful hits for the Thunder, but now, finally, the Tyrants are going to get to throw because they have more balls. And I am going to go for broke here and try and eliminate their best throwing player, which is Munaj. So Zelnick has a 4 throw rating, and Munaj is a 3, so we need a 4 or less on the blue and a 4 or more on the red. And we did not get it, so that's an unsuccessful throw. But the Tyrants get to throw again because they have more ball. Well, they have equal balls, actually, so timeout for a second. But they have less players, so it's back to the Thunder having their throw. Now, let me demonstrate something really quick. So, if you are holding a ball, your dodge rating goes up by every ball that you hold. So, Lewis here is holding a ball, and he's only got a dodge rating of 1. So right now, his dodge rating is actually a 2. If he was holding 2 balls, it would be a 3. If he had 4, it would be a 4, and so on and so forth. So Oshida really has a decision to make here. He could throw and try and get Lewis out, which is still the easier throw because his dodge rating is only a 2. Or he could try and go for broke and get Nickel out, who has a dodge rating of 4. But I think he's still going to take the easier shot at Lewis here. So he needs a 3 or less on the throw and a 3 or more on the red, and he got it. Look at this. So Lewis loses the ball. He's out, goes to the bottom, and the Thunder are cooking now as they've eliminated 3 players on 4 throws. Wow. I maybe should do 2 matches because this might be over early. All right, so Ty goes at a higher throw rating, so it's still the Thunder. So we're going to throw that TV ball, and he's going to go after Nickel here. So TV ball throws are a little bit different. On these throws, you're going to roll 2 black die and add them up. And we're going to consult the chart to see what happens. So Choice is throwing at Nickel, and he rolls a 12. So they're a B team, so 7 or less is a hit, so he didn't hit them. But on a 12, it says roll again on the TV throw. Super highlight. Oh, no. So we roll again. A 1. Choice is fed up with the opposing team fan. Stops the game. Grabs a fire extinguisher and seltzer bottle. And sprays them down. Increase the player's team grade 1 level and re-roll the player's archetype. Oh, man. So this is what I mean. The wrestling element. So he got upset. So we're going to find out what his archetype is. And let's see. He's a face. So he's going to turn into a good guy. So the Thunder have a heel in Oshida and a face in Choice. He threw the TV ball. And he actually did not make a hit, like I said, because, so I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but they were a B when he threw that ball. So only a 7 or less would have been a hit. And that, of course, was a 12. So he did not get the hit there. All right, so one ball left in the first round. Ramirez has it, and he's going to go after Kelly. So Kelly's only got a dodge rating of 1. It'd be nice to get rid of that throw rating of 4. So he needs a 3 or less on the blue and a 2 or more on the red, and he did not get it. So unsuccessful throw. All right, so now we are going to reset. So 3 balls back to the Thunder, 3 to the Tyrant, and we're going to realign. So the Thunder are going to stay there because they lost nobody this round. And this is where the collection rating really comes into play, because a 3-star player can cover 3 zones to try and collect. A 1-star player can only cover 1 zone, and you guessed it, a 2-star player can only cover 2 zones. So I'm going to have Zelnick cover 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have Nickel cover the 6, and I'm going to have a Ramirez cover 1 and 2. So they're still going to get a ball no matter what. There are all 3 balls no matter what. And 2 will go to 2. So 2 will go to Ramirez. 1 will go to Zelnick. Nickel gets nothing, although he could play the 5. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm going to keep Zelnick in the middle. And these 2 are not next to each other. I could have done this and had them play next to each other, but I won't. So I'm going to have Ramirez play there, and because he's holding 2 balls, his dodge rating is all the way up to a 6, so he really cannot get out right now. So that was a great play for Ramirez. So Beard will get 1. Oshida, our heel, will get 2, and he's going to give 1 to Minaj, who is a 5 on the throw rating. Okay, equal on balls, but the Thunder have more players, so they will throw first, and I think Zelnick has made himself a target. So Oshida's going to throw first at Zelnick. So he needs a 3 or less on the blue and a 4, 5, or 6 on the red. He got it. Oh, boy. He got it. So Zelnick is out. He has to cough up the ball. And just like that, the Tyrants are down to their final 2 players. And again, the Thunder will throw. And again, I'm going to have Minaj. But remember, he is at a 6 right now, so nothing is going to get him out unless he rolls a double, in which case he could try and make the catch, which we haven't seen yet. So he gets his throw rating, but nothing. He can't pass the 6. So now Ramirez will throw, and he's going to go right at Kelly. So Ramirez needs a 3 or less on the blue and a 2 through 6 on the red. He gets that, but he doesn't get it. So that is an unsuccessful throw for Ramirez. And now Beard's going to throw because he has a higher throw rating than Ramirez, and he's going to go at him. So now a 6 will get Ramirez out, and it still is not going to happen. So game not over yet. Ramirez gets the final throw, and he really wants Kelly. And he doesn't get him. So that's the end of the turn. The Tyrants lose 1 more. The Thunder still unscathed, and now we are down to just 2 players. And the most common number, like I said, is a 2, 3, or 4. So I'm going to have Ramirez play there, and I'm going to have Nickel play the 5. Actually, I'm going to have him play the 2 now. I'm going to keep the Thunder the same. All right, so 2 will go to Minaj, but he's going to throw 1 over to Oshida. And now 2 3s, that's good. So Ramirez gets them both, but a 6 comes up, so I'm glad that came up. So because it was a 6 and there's nobody there, the Tyrants are only going to have 2 balls. So I can align these guys so they stand next to each other. I'm actually not going to do that, and I'll explain why in just a second. So I have a homebrew rule that if you are more than 2 spaces away from any given thrower, your dodge rating goes up by 1 for every space. So for example, if Kelly wanted to throw at Ramirez here, Ramirez's dodge rating is a 4, but because he's 1, 2, 3 spaces away, it's now a 5. And remember, he's holding 2 balls, so really it's a 7. So Kelly has absolutely no shot at getting Ramirez out here. But Oshida does, and he will throw first, because remember, they have more balls. So Oshida first, and he is going to try. Well, he can't get Ramirez out. So really, he's just throwing this to make sure Ramirez gets rid of one ball, and that won't even work. Again, so now Munaj is gonna make a crack at nickel to just try and get the Tyrants down to their last player. So Munaj needs a 5 or less and a 5 or 6 on the red. He got the 1, didn't, and it's doubles. So nickel, okay, nickel has a chance now. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's a highlight reel miss. I'm sorry. Highlight reel miss. No, wait. This is where I need to consult the rule book real fast. That's why I always have it handy. Okay, doubles is when you have the opportunity to make a catch. So, I was hoping that the game didn't end before I could show this part off. So everybody knows in dodgeball, if you catch the ball, that player is out, and you get one of your own players to come back in. So the Tyrants have a golden opportunity here to get back in this game. So nickel needs an 8 or less to make this catch, and he will get it. So who threw that? Munaj threw it. So Munaj is out, and Wilson gets to come back in. So a little bit more of a game now for the Tyrants, and Ramirez is going to get to throw, and he's going to go after Oshida. He gets the throw rating, but he doesn't get the dodge rating, so he'll lose that. Who gets to shoot again? It's Kelly's turn. He's got the higher throw rating. And he's going to go after Wilson, even though, so Wilson just got back in, but he wants that 4 throw rating out of here, and that 1 dodge rating will hopefully make it easy. And he gets it. So Wilson, bang, just like that, comes back in and gets right out. So the Tyrants are once again down to their final 2 players. And Ramirez is going to get the last throw here, and he's going to go for Oshida again. So he needs a 3 or less on the blue and a 3 or more on the red. He doesn't get it, but he rolled a 7. So this is a highlight reel miss. And Ramirez is a average Joe, and he rolled a 3. TV ball to any heel player on either team. Well, Oshida is here, so he's going to get a TV ball, and that means he's going to throw, and he's going after Ramirez. So the round was almost over, but they're going to get one more throw. So we'll get our TV ball throw chart out, and remember, they're now an A because the rating went up. He rolls a 10, so that's not a hit. But we'll go over to 10. It says, referee error. The previous result should have been reversed. Oshida is going to berate the referee and is immediately disqualified. Look at this. So Oshida is out. And the Thunder now have lost perhaps their 2. Not perhaps. They did lose their 2 best players. Wow. So the Tyrants are not out of it. And we're going to have another rush here. Okay, well, this could be the end or it could be new life for the Tyrants. How do I want to align this? I think that's our best bet. All right, so Thunder first. Oh, they're going to lose 1. Roll the 2 and the 5. They need a little... Oh, no, he was covering 2 zones, so he's going to get... Oh, wow, they're only going to get 1 ball on the rush. And he's going to move over a zone. Kelly's going to move over a zone, even though he doesn't have... No, he's going to get out of the... it doesn't matter. He's in the firing range no matter what. All right. First throw to the Thunder. And they have 2 players with a 4 on the dodge rating. So this game may extend for a little while. So Beard is going to go first, and he's trying to get nickel. And he gets neither. Tolman's going to go now, since he has the higher throw rating. He's going after Ramirez, so he needs a 6 on the red die, and he'll get neither. So Ramirez throws. He's going after Kelly, and that was a 7, so it's a highlight throw miss, and it was a 1. Dodging player gets a TV ball. Oh, no, Kelly gets the TV ball, so he's going to fire right back, and he's going to go after Ramirez. It's a 7. They're an 8. That's a hit. Ramirez is hit. Oh no, and 7 says fan rushes onto the floor and disrupts the match. Restart with a rush. Well, Ramirez is out. They're down to 1 player, and that's going to be Nickel. And Kelly used his highlight throw. So this is probably the end here. All right, 3 balls. Hopefully it's 3 fours for the Tyrants. Oh, nothing. They got no balls. Whoa, no, they didn't. They only got 1. Look at this. So it's just Kelly. So there's only going to be 1 ball thrown this round. Kelly for Nickel. Needs a 4 or less on the blue and a 5 or 6 on the red. It went the other way around, and it's a 7. That's a highlight reel miss for Kelly. He's an average Joe. Roll the 1. Dodging player gets a TV ball. Look at this. Nickel has a shot now. Remember, there's still a B on the TV rating. It's a 6. That's a hit. Kelly's out. Referee reverses the call and momentum shifts. Oh, wow. So he reverses the call and the teams exchange TV ratings, the rest. So now the Tyrants are going to be a B, and the Thunder are going to be an A. And it's still just 1 man left. It's Nickel. Did he get any balls? He got just 1 ball. How about the Thunder? They'll get 2 balls. Kelly's going to move. So first throw to Tolman. And he beat it. Did he? No, he blocked it away. And he's more than 2 spots away. So Beard is going to miss unless it's a 6. Oh, he got him. That's it. It's over. Just like that, it ends and the Thunder win. So that is a quick demo of Dodgeball. So much fun. And again, it's all about world building and doing this any way you would like. So, guys, this game's a ton of fun. Go check it out. I'll put the link down in the description. Heroes and Heels Dodgeball. Pick up your copy today.